When I prepare meat like this, everyone asks me for the recipe. Here, in a bowl, I'm going to crack the eggs. I have 3 eggs at room temperature. I crack them one by one in here, carefully to avoid dropping any shell. With these eggs, I'm going to make a special sauce that will be used to season the meat. Using a fork, I'll beat the eggs well, just until they're uniform, making it easier to mix with the other ingredients. Now I'm going to add half a teaspoon of salt. I also add half a teaspoon of ground black pepper and fresh parsley to taste, finely chopped so it mixes better into the sauce. I also have 4 grated garlic cloves and half a cup of grated Parmesan cheese, which will give it an intense flavor. Now I mix all the ingredients well inside the bowl. They're going to form a thick and very flavorful sauce. This sauce turns out delicious and gives the meat a special touch. Really tasty, and the best part is that it's super easy to make at home. The Parmesan gives it a unique flavor that really stands out in the meat. I set it aside here while I prepare the meat cuts. Here I have 2 large pieces of meat, very generous in size. On each piece, I'm going to make shallow cuts, as shown, to break up the fibers and make it more tender when cooking. This cut is made on only one side of the meat carefully, with marked cuts, but without breaking the piece apart. Now I place a plastic bag on top to protect it. And using a meat mallet, I give it a few gentle taps to tenderize it. This way, it becomes thinner and more tender without falling apart. I've already tapped both sides well, and the meat is just right. It ended up more spread out, softer, perfect to continue the recipe. Now I take one piece and dredge it in all-purpose flour. Here I'm using 1 cup of flour, enough to coat it well. Then I move it straight into the sauce we prepared earlier. Look how wonderful! It coats perfectly and sticks really well. I cover both sides completely so it absorbs all the flavor. I repeat the process with the second piece of meat. I finished with both pieces and I leave them ready on a plate. In a skillet, I already have a bit of oil heating up. Now I add 1 tablespoon of butter, which will make the meat even more tender and incredibly flavorful. I let it melt completely and mix with the hot oil. This step is key to giving the meat a juicier texture. You can also use olive oil. It turns out really tasty too. The oil goes a long way, and with the butter, the meat turns out super juicy. The butter has now completely melted. Now I place the first piece in the hot skillet. You can already smell a delicious aroma when it hits the butter. And I let it brown well on one side before flipping. It's already golden on the bottom. Time to turn it over. I flip it carefully and look at that beautiful color. It gets a golden crust on the outside and stays very juicy inside. It's now well browned on both sides, so I remove it from the skillet. I place it directly on a plate to serve it hot. And now, all that's left is to enjoy this juicy meat. Well seasoned, tender, and with a spectacular flavor. It turns out so soft, it practically melts in your mouth.
If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and turn on the notification.